the appointed time for this special council meeting. Before opening the meeting, the Wall City Wangaratta live stream, clause 91(4) of the Governance of Meeting Conduct Local Law provides the following. This public meeting is being recorded to improve access to the meeting for our community. The recording will be retained by Council in accordance with Council's legal obligations. As a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. Now declare open the special council meeting and acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting. I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and to the elders of other communities who may be with us today. Thank you, Councillor. In the opening prayer, Almighty God, we humbly ask Thee to bless and guide this council in its deliberations, so that we may truly preserve the welfare of the people whom we serve. Amen. I have an apology from Councillor Bustle. All other councillors are present. I will move the acceptance of Councillor Benton, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any discussion? With the motion, those in favour? Motion's carried. Conflict of interest. No conflict of interest. Presentation of reports. Item 7.1, the annual report. Yes, Mr. Fox.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
But what do you, I mean, we haven't even asked for the officers to present the report yet.
I'm well aware of that, Mr. Mayor. I want to talk about a point of order. I want to know from somebody, which is either you...
There's no point of order.
No, just a minute, sir.
No, would you please...
And the CEO, if this is actually a legally constituted meeting.
Yes, it is.
Sir, I have been into the front office twice a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and eventually Thursday. Half an hour ago, I got an agenda for this meeting. That tells me that this meeting is not constitutional. This meeting is being recorded.
Point of order. Point of order is the councillor's use. A member of the public doesn't have any right to call a point of order, so I think we should be leaving it there.
Is there no one prepared to say this is a legally constituted meeting?
I'm prepared to say that.
Thank you.
Because we've advertised it as required. It's been advertised in the local newspaper. It's also been on the website, and the agenda has been on the website. So we'll now go to item 7.1, the annual report. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and that is correct. Item 7.1 is the annual report for 2017 and 18. In the September meeting, Council adopted the financial and performance statements in principle prior to approval by the Victorian Auditor General. We have now received the unqualified audit reports for the 2017-18 financial year and have forwarded the annual report to the Minister as required by the Act. The report is presented to Council for adoption for the 2017-18 annual report and has been prepared as required by sections 131 and 134 of the Local Government Act 1984, and as mentioned by the Mayor, this was advertised within 14 days of the special council meeting. So the recommendation is therefore that Council adopts the annual report for 2017-18 as prepared and forwarded to the Minister for Local Government.
Questions from the gallery? Questions from the gallery? No questions from the gallery. Someone, Mr. Fox.
I ask you, Mr. Mayor, how can I possibly have a question when I have not had access to the agenda? I thank you.
Someone like to move the recommendation? Councillor Benton, second Councillor Roos. Any discussion on the annual report? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Motion is carried. Development Services, 8.1, application to amend the planning permit for St Catherine's. Mr. Swart.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Just one moment, Mr. Mayor. Do I put my amendment to this now? No, after this has been accepted. Sorry.
Thank you. I'll go ahead. Just to note that this is an application to amend an existing planning permit. The main changes being proposed by this amendment are related to the access arrangements to this site. The access arrangements originally proposed are no longer available. So it's proposed that access to the site is gained through what is known as the Wangaratta Performing Arts Centre car park. The application to amend the permit was referred to a number of authorities and advertised in the normal way. No objections were received to that. A few concerns were raised through that process around traffic movements and also the potential implications on the future use and redevelopment of the Performing Arts Centre land. These have been considered and a number of conditions have been included in the proposed planning permit to try and address that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions from the gallery? Yes, Mr. Fox.
Once again, Mr. Mayor, to invite questions from the general public, of which I am a member. I would like to ask you a considered question. I have no way of asking you a considered question as I have had no access to the agenda. Thank you.
As I said at the start of the meeting, Mr. Potts, you've had access to the meeting. It was advertised and it was on the website. You have had access to the meeting and what the planning purpose is. Any other questions from the gallery? Councillor Roos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to put some amendment permit conditions to the motion, and that the council will resolve to: number one, issue an amended planning permit with the respective planning permit application 15-079.01 to allow for altered design of the permitted aged care facility redevelopment, including the use of the Wangaratta Performing Arts Centre for vehicle access at 59 to 69 Riley Street, Wangaratta, in accordance with the permit conditions contained within the attachment, and subject to a revised referral response from Vic Roads, including any revised additional conditions required by Vic Roads. Amending permit condition 8 to correctly refer to the rural city of Wangaratta. Amending the first line of permit condition 8H to refer to reasonable proportionate share. Amending the notice period stipulated in permit condition 8J from 3 months to 12 months. Amending permit condition 14 to require spaces 10 to 18 to be signposted as time restricted spaces consistent with the adjacent parking spaces within the Wangaratta Performing Arts Centre car park. Advise the applicant and all referral authorities of council's decision. And 3, agree to the provision of formal access agreements via a council's Performing Arts Centre land on the basis the required section 173 agreement whereby the access route to Oven Street may alter in the future with appropriate notice, and the full width of the access driveway will not always be available when PAC delivery vehicles are unloading in the driveway. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So that's a motion.
Correct, that is the motion.
We've got a second. Councillor Curry. Councillors, any discussion?
Yes. If no one else. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long time coming for this development for St Catherine's, and it's here and it's on the tables now, and my fellow councillors have to vote on it here today to see whether or not the St Catherine's progress will continue to go forward. I'll just point out a couple of factors. Do we need a $14 million development here in Wangaratta, a $14 million approximately development here in Wangaratta? And I would say yes. Do the elderly people of Wangaratta need this development to go forward and offer another 30 beds here in Wangaratta? Not just a monetary thing of spending it for the community here in Wangaratta, I'll say yes. Do their families need this development to go forward? By all means, yes. And does Wangaratta as a whole most certainly needs this to go forward? Predominantly, and changing here at council, we've had the fear of change, and there is a huge safety in not changing, even if we feel terrible about it. We've had a little bit of a culture, and I'm certainly not having go at anyone, of no, and no is the creature that personifies resistance. No thrives on insecurity and uncertainty. But no has its enemies, and their enemies are acceptance and letting go. So get moved, be moved, and move others. So ladies and gentlemen, I urge my fellow councillors here today to vote yes for the progress of this development at the St Catherine's Hostel. Thank you.
Any other councillors wish to speak? All right, no other councillors, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Motion's carried. That's the end of the special council meeting. Thank the gallery for their attendance, and I'll declare the meeting closed.